Hello and welcome to another episode of KKP Untitled Show, or the Untitled KKP Show, where we talk about video games while still trying to figure out what to actually title our show. Yes, it's a running joke, but that's how we're gonna roll. My name is Jonathan Toyad, aka Mr. Toffee, and I've just finished watching the Summer Game Fest 2025 edition. And yeah, we got a lot of games we gotta cover and whatnot. Just to go through some of the highlights just for a bit because yeah, there's quite a number of good, awesome, old-fashioned, nice announcements. Not just for Summer Games Fest 2025, but also maybe Day of the Devs, maybe just one or two I want to bring up, as well as the PlayStation State of Play June 2025 edition. Yes, really, really good stuff right there. Let's just see if I can go through order of excitement. Like, I'm just gonna go through what I saw recently. Maybe just a bit of a recap, some refresher. I've been playing a bunch of games on embargo, of course. We have, we just announced that we're playing Death Stranding 2 at this point in time for review. So look forward to that. Am I looking here or there? yeah. Look forward to that later at the 24th of June when the early access version of the game comes out. Because if I'm correct, if you buy it, if you pre-order it early, you get 2 days, 48 hours early access to Death Stranding 2. So the game is supposed to come out on the 26th, but if you pre-order it early, you get the early version, You get to play it on the 24th. So yeah, that's like a heads up for lots of people here and there. Alright, let's see, moving on. I think that's all I can talk about. I think I might have a game I need to talk about on the 10th or 12th of June. And then there's a couple more, which, again, a lot of embargo is being stated. But I do know that the one I can publicly talk about is Death Stranding 2. At least just to say that, I played that and I'm working on that as we speak. So, yeah, stay tuned for that review in the next couple of weeks. End of the month, worst case scenario, yep. And, yeah. Let's get on to the Predator Killer of Killers. We reviewed that. That came out on the 6th of June, about the evening time. The review came out about 11 a.m. on our side. We got an early screener. That is a freaking good Predator film. Like, the last good one was probably Prey. That was reviewed earlier, a couple of years ago. Dan Trachtenberg. He's actually back again to direct this this animated 3D film. So it's got a 2D art style. It's I believe it's Third Wave it was a couple of studios that worked on it. And it's using Unreal Engine 5 because they showed off a clip of one of the main characters, Ursa, fighting a bunch of Slavics or Vikings or the rival camp people who actually, gave her grief a couple of years back. A really long extended fight scene. It was really badass, to say the least. Really, really good stuff. Like, she has the two shields. She just cuts someone's head off with having the shields clashing each other. Oh man, you gotta see it. You can actually check out the little clip that's online right now. And the film is available to watch right now. Predator Killer of Killers. I highly recommend it. It's like an anthology film, like 3 different eras and then a final arc that actually combines everything together. I'm not gonna spoil it, but let's just say it stays true to the Predator mythos and lore, where these creatures hunt down prey or game to fight against, and if they are a worthy challenge, then they might probably preserve them, or maybe, fight them again, or give them like some sort of honor, give them like a blood pact seal thing on their heads and whatnot. Really cool stuff. Like, even the predators they fight are very interesting. Like, in the first one, in the Viking Age, that was the big one. And this is all in the trailer, so I'm not actually spoiling it. That's all like teased in the trailer. The second one was in Japan, feudal Japan, and they fought like a ninja-like predator, like skinny, lanky, same height, but not as brawn and brute and big, muscular like the first one in the Viking era. And the last predator is the one who pilots a giant predator battleship. And it's set in World War II. You got a bunch of fighter jets, fighter planes dogfighting in that era, and then the Predator ship just comes in the midst of it, getting cloaked out invisibility, gets out invisibility and just murders everyone with the harpoon homing missile thing. Really, really insane stuff. And all 3 action scenes are just kick-ass. Really well animated. I like the whole cut frames, 2D style animation that, they're obviously emulating the Sony animation style from the Spider-Verse films. But it's done really well here, and it very feels like the fights all feel very visceral, especially when the Predator comes in, to wreck shit up, basically. Really, really bloody. Doesn't shy away from the violence, with like in the first Predator and the second Predator. Really, really good stuff. Prey as well as the Predators, plural, Predators, the one with Adrian Brody. Yeah, so I would say that this actually ranks up. A Predator Killer of Killers ranks up really, really high on the best Predator films list, which you could say is not saying much, considering that the crossover films and some of the Predator movies weren't that hot. But yeah, what's done is done anyway. So Predator Killer of Killers, worth watching, recommendation. If you're in Malaysia and Asia, you can watch it on Disney Plus Hotstar. If you're in America, watch it on Hulu. And yeah, that's pretty much what I've done for the entire week or so. But enough about that. Let's just get on to the pretty awesome games that were just announced. I'm just gonna go through my lists of games. I mean, Lewis did a really great job doing the recap and everything. He's resting right now, so good job right there. Staying up late, covering everything. I'm just up, did the Twitter thing, and yeah, let's go blow by blow. I'm gonna start off with Summer Games Fest and then go on to the other stuff. Obviously, the PlayStation State of Play. You'll find out why. So yeah, Summer Games Fest. They announced Mortal Shell 2. That is coming out in 2026. It is the indie follow-up to Mortal Shell 1, a very dark fantasy Souls-like game made by a few people, very indie-like, retained the quality of a Dark Souls game. So Mortal Shell 2 is just exactly that, just better graphics, more monsters to fight, still more of a dark fantasy kind of edge thing. Not really my thing, but hey, I know a lot of my friends who enjoyed Mortal Shell 1, so yeah, hats off to them. Chronicles Medieval strategy game, looks really cool. Also great to see Lucy James, a colleague of, not really colleague, actually she joined in after I left. So not really a colleague, but I did bump into her back and forth thanks to Cam and Seb, who knew her earlier on during her Jinx days. And then she was in GameSpot, worked with Tamim, and then she did really well, and then she got Giant Bomb and all that, so yeah, good stuff, Lucy. Yeah, keep rocking with the whole presentation and podcasting stuff going on. Awesome. Let's see, let's get on to the rest of the games. The Jeff Keighley Show brought up more awesome things like Code Vein 2, also quite a surprise. I enjoyed the first Code Vein. Basically, it's anime Dark Souls with vampires who suck on amber and blood to power up your abilities and whatnot. Really liked the first Code Vein, although there were a lot. The level design wasn't really the best, and there's a lot of cheap tactics that the game uses, like confusing map design for the sake of just confusion and just pad out time, and a lot of enemies just do sneak attacks. They just put enemies in the corner, that's just how cheap they get without actually giving much of a challenge. And even if they got some nice bosses, you can basically just tank through if you have a partner like Yakumo, who actually is the broadsword wielder of the first game. You just team up with him, he can heal you, and he can basically cover 50% of your ass for the entire game. The only tough fight in Code Vein I remember was the tag team fight. So if you have a tag team partner, you fight this duo. It's an optional fight, by the way, and that's probably the only toughest fight in the game. So I hope that Code Vein 2 takes that lesson to heart. Keep the aesthetic. I like the artwork. I love the music. Goshina did great work with the first game. He better come back for the second game. More awesome battle themes from him. Goshina is an underrated composer. He needs a lot of love. He needs a lot of this sort of thing to do to make a game like Code Vein stand out. So Code Vein 2, I guess the tag system can come in, but maybe just consider adding more tag team fights as bosses in Code Vein 2 to retain the difficulty. Maybe level design, I guess that's also a thing too, but I do feel that Code Vein 2 it's just being Dark Souls, but anime slightly brighter and more aesthetically pleasing and more speedline-ish and whatnot. So, yeah, good job on Bandai Namco to, do another one of these. Did enjoy the first game, needed improvement of course, but still had potential. So I hope Code Vein 2 caps on more to that potential. So that's coming out for PC and consoles on 2026, of course. In fact, most of these announcements are all 2026. Most, like half of them. Really good stuff. Mina the Hollower, the 2D action game in the Game Boy Color kind of vein, NES kind of vein, or the pixel art, from Yacht Club Games, the guys who made Shovel Knight. That's coming out. Mina the Hollower finally has a release date. I think they're almost done with the title. Coming out on 31st October to celebrate Halloween, given the spooky nature of the game, with the monsters and the ghosts that Mina the Hollower, the rat girl, has to fight. So good stuff there. Trailer looks badass, of course. A lot of action going on. If you like a top-down Zelda Castlevania style Metroidvania, it might not be Metroidvania. I'm not sure. It might be very linear, but the world could use more of these. I mean, I played like this year's best game, Pipistrello. That's an awesome search action title. That's on the Zelda side of things. So Mina the Hollow is more like is similar like that, except a lot more retro with its graphics. It's definitely like an 8-bit Game Boy Color kind of game. So yeah, looking forward to that. Mina the Hollower. Acts of Blood, Indonesia gets mentioned in the Jeff Keighley show. Good going, Excel team. Acts of Blood, it's developed by a one-man team in Bandung, Indonesia, or Bandung, Indonesia, according to Jeff Keighley. Yeah, that's basically the action game that's basically Sifu but set in Indonesia type title, action title, 3D action game, mixes Yakuza, Like a Dragon, real-time Like a Dragon with Raid, the concept of Raid, and Sifu all together in one nice action title. Acts of Blood is coming, has a release window as well, summer 2026 for PC. So let's just make the guys cook. So yeah, good job showing up at being the only Southeast Asian company to be up there in the main Jeff Keighley show, the Summer Games Fest. So good going. What else? Marvel Cosmic Invasion, no release date. I mean, it's still winter 2025, so probably end of the year. They introduced 2 new characters to join in the roster together with Wolverine and Storm. Captain America, Phyla Vale, and Venom and Spider-Man. We've got She-Hulk and Rocket Raccoon. So She-Hulk can grow a bit big and do the little ground pound muscle thing like her cousin Bruce Banner, the Hulk. And Rocket Raccoon is short, tiny, fast, has guns, range attacks, and he's got a really nice maximum gun super way. He has a bunch of inventions and gun artillery coming out his way, killing everything in his sight and whatnot. So yeah, really good to see more of tribute games. Speaking of tribute games, they announced a new Scott Pilgrim title, Scott Pilgrim EX, which is the beat 'em up. So far, the 2 playable characters announced are, of course, Ramona and Scott Pilgrim. Ramona Flowers and Scott Pilgrim. Yeah, they're both selectable in this beat 'em up where it's done linear in a sense. It's like you got levels and you got a non-linear path to it. You can choose different stages and whatnot on the Toronto map. And you got the leveling up system and whatnot. Made by Tribute Games, so you know the beat 'em up feels is going to be good because they made the TMNT Shredder's Revenge and they're making a Marvel Cosmic Invasion. So interesting to note that Scott Pilgrim EX has like a couple of factions you have to fight. You've got the Vegans, clearly led by Todd Ingram. You've got the Demons, led by Matthew Patel, because you got the Succubus as one of the demons. You've got the Robots, led by the twins, the Japanese twins, who are in the comic books, in the movie, and in the Netflix anime series. Really good stuff right there. And you've got G, the team called G. Obviously, Gideon Graves, the main bad guy of Scott Pilgrim. And the spectacled silhouette girl is most likely either Julie Powers, or the drummer, Lynette, from Clash at Demon Head, who aligned herself with Gideon Graves. I don't know yet, but from the silhouette, I'm going to say it's probably Julie, but maybe it's Lynette, who knows. So it'll be pretty cool to see how these team up together, whether it's going to be like you defeat the Vegans, you defeat the Demons, and then you defeat the the robots, and then you fight G as a last team. Or you can select any of the 4, and then there'll be like a super secret team you gotta fight. And of course, you got 5 extra selectable characters. Tribute Games hasn't announced it yet, but I do suspect it's gonna be all the 5 X's of Ramona, like the twins. You've got Todd, you got Lucas Lee, or maybe even the Scott's bandmates like Stephen, right? Stephen, you've got Kim P, and of course the Korean girl. What's that? Knives Chow. Yeah. So get all those characters. So where does Lisa fit in all this? Lisa is actually one of Scott's friends back in high school. She was in book 4. She made a bunch of cameos here and there in the show. Maybe she might be the secret bad guy, who knows. She's been stood up by the book and the creator, so maybe she formed her own faction or whatnot. Oh, Envy Adams. Envy Adams might be a boss, or she might be a selectable character. Who knows. So it'll be really cool to see the whole Scott Pilgrim universe and thing going on. And the music is, of course, composed by Anna Managuchi, so good stuff right there. They've been, tied in together with the Scott Pilgrim band for quite a while. Played music for the game, and then as well as the Netflix anime series. They also contributed a bit to the movie, I believe, the Universal film. And now they're gonna do it for this upcoming game too. I believe it's 2026. Yeah. So yeah, good going. And just a couple more titles. The big ones, of course, is Stranger Than Heaven, the next Yakuza-style game from... it's actually a completely new game from Ryuga Gotoku, the makers of Like a Dragon / Yakuza. So it's set in 1943. You play a guy named Mako Daito, who may be a Japan mix blood. Maybe he's a mix of American, because at the end of the trailer he showed his blue eyes. Who knows? And he's a detective guy who fights and kills crooks and whatnot, and does detective work. And hangs around the lounge act singer place, at the start of the trailer. He has a trench coat, he does detective work, he fights, kills. Really cool stuff. I believe RGG, they're using completely new assets. Maybe the same engine, just, a bunch of new assets. Because for the past 10 years, they've been doing a lot of Yakuza titles. So this will be the next new title from RGG. Like, to create a bunch of brand new characters, a brand new setting, and a brand new landscape on a brand new engine. So this could be it. I guess Ryuga Gotoku's game, I guess the Yakuza Like a Dragon titles are more or less set in stone. They're kind of done after the really cool one I played this year, Yakuza Like a Pirate Yakuza in Like a Dragon Pirate Yakuza in Hawaii. Yeah, the one with Goro Machima. So yeah, this is Stranger Than Heaven. That's the title of the game. So that looks really promising. So let's go for that. Hold on, let me just check more of my notes. Okay, alright. And the big one is, of course, Resident Evil 9, Resident Evil Requiem. So throughout the live stream, they had like a bunch of like commercials for... you've got Margaret, what's her name again? The lady, the voice actress for Lady Dimitrescu. She actually just came up to promote the Capcom sale on Steam once, and then on the second time she promoted they celebrated the 25th anniversary of Resident Evil. 25th, is it? Maggie Robertson, she actually popped up twice to promote the Capcom store, the sales going on, and the next ad is basically just to introduce, hey, the new producer of Resident Evil is coming in to talk about, hey, we're gonna announce Resident Evil very soon, so just stick around, and they did at the end of Summer Games Fest. They had a trailer, had an FBI kind of department. And we have an introduction of our main character for Resident Evil 9, Resident Evil Requiem. Grace... what is her name? I wrote it down. Hold on. She is actually related to a character in Resident Evil Outbreak. I was told that maybe Leon Kennedy might be the other protagonist. The main character's name is Grace. Her mom is actually one of the characters, Ashley? Ashcroft? Alyssa Ashcroft. Okay, so let's step back up again. So, Grace Ashcroft is the main character of Resident Evil 9. She is actually the daughter of Alyssa Ashcroft from Resident Evil Outbreak. She died 8 years prior to Resident Evil 9's story. And yeah, I guess she has to get to the bottom of things here and there and find out why she's involved in the storyline. And the trailer itself showed off basically the destroyed remains of Raccoon City. So they're gonna go back to the well. They're gonna go back to the place that was bombed in Resident Evil 3. So, and yeah, Leon Kennedy will be involved somehow. There was a lot of rumors going on, especially from the guy who has basically shared leaks on Resident Evil 9, how the game is going to be and everything. It's going to be a different horror experience, I'm told, but we'll see how that goes. So the trailer did show Resident Evil Raccoon City. There's a hooded guy. That guy might be Leon. That guy might be Leon Kennedy. Who knows? They're going to show up more information in the coming few months, maybe Gamescom, or probably after Gamescom. Tokyo Game Show is coming too, so they might actually show up more gameplay on that front. In any case, I'm actually excited to see how they actually end this particular arc. So, gonna have some callbacks. Leon will probably have to be involved somehow because, you know, you have a reveal and then you just go on from there. And the fact that they had like Resident Evil 2 remake, they had Resident Evil 4 remake, it kind of makes sense to maybe just go back to where it came from, you know, or maybe just have a throwback character. Because Chris's story is sort of done in Resident Evil 8. As for Jill Valentine, hey man, she could be another character who could team up, who actually appear in Resident Evil Requiem. Who knows? It could be like the first time Jill and Leon might team up as side characters or whatnot. But to have a new character like Grace pop up and be the main character, that's also pretty cool too. Maybe have some twists. As for monsters, we saw like a big zombie-like thing. They're zombies. There's like a big monster-like thing that like got a big mouth and whatnot. I have no idea what that is. It could be like a super mutated tyrant or whatnot. So in any case, it's gonna be like a good blend of horror and action. We'll see how that goes. Maybe Leon might actually represent the action part, and Grace might represent the horror escape room kind of bit. That's just my theory. In any case, I'm looking forward to more gameplay reveals and overviews for this title in the next coming months. Yeah. So just gonna take a little sip. Then we'll move on to the other stuff. So the other stuff. I gotta say this presentation, it's good and all. I mean, props to Indonesia getting a shout out and really good reveals. So Code Vein 2, Resident Evil 9 Requiem. Oh, Ball X Pit. That's actually in the day of the developer's side. Like, that happened after Summer Games Fest, but there are just 1 or 2 titles I kind of am interested in. Like a mixtape. They showed off a bit of mixtape. This is actually an adventure game from Beethoven Dinosaur. They made my favorite game, Artful Escape. Really good music adventure title. So to have basically mixtape coming in as like a retro kind of adventure game set in the 80s-ish, then having a eclectic musical list from Joy Division to Smashing Pumpkins. Yeah, that's a big-ass list. Also, you know, not not a streamer friendly, especially for the copyright side of things. But that adventure game looks pretty cool. I mean, it's probably going to be like 3-4 hours of adventuring and reminiscing and some sort of storyline between 3 high school friends. I assume they're from high school, so that looks kind of cool. You've got to Consume Me, an RPG about a life RPG, simulation RPG revolving around a young Asian girl from infancy up to high school to adulthood. So that would be kind of cool to see how, and it's got a really interesting, cute art style. So I really like to see more of that. I mean, there should be a demo out right now. In fact, there's actually demos for Ball X Pit, which is basically imagine Breakout and Arkanoid, except in a roguelite traversal action, going forward through stages kind of structure. That looked pretty cool. That's Devolver Digital. It's got some nice 16-bit-ish graphics. I know they're 2D, pixelated graphics. They got demos for that. You've got demos for Mina the Hollow as well. And Possessors also, there's a demo for that. That's actually a 2D Metroidvania title from the makers of, I want to say Fury? Oh, no, it's another developer. Heart Machine, the guys who did Hyperlight Drift. That's the new game, Possessors. The demo's out as well. Acts of Blood should have a demo out as well, because I remember playing a demo of that a while back. So it might probably come back again, maybe a revamped demo. What other demos came out? Possessors, Consume Me, Ball X Pit. Yeah, I think that's about it from the Summer Game Fest side. Yeah, Mina the Hollower, that's a demo for that. Yeah, go check them out. That's all promising stuff. Give your feedback, wishlist all the indie games that I just mentioned, and go ahead from there. There's gonna be also a bunch of indie showcases going on too. I'll do a shout out for that. That's gonna happen in the next, I want to say 10, 12, 13, 14 hours. It's a 3 a.m. It's gonna happen 3 a.m. We'll talk about that later. Alright, PlayStation State of Play. That dropped on Thursday morning about 5:30 a.m. I checked it out and was not really expecting much. And then they dropped in a bunch of bangers. Let me just write down some of the things. Hold on. Alright, I got most of my notes out. So, all the bangers that were introduced at PlayStation State of Play, which I would rank so highly up to right now. Luminous Arise, puzzle game from Tetsuya Mizuguchi. Music based, very heavy on the music. It's like you drop the blocks down and you have to wait for the line come up from the left side to the right, and to clear the lines and whatnot. Not quite Tetris, but not quite columns either. It's a whole unique kind of thing. The first few games came out on PSP. That was lovely stuff. And then now we have a new Luminous game coming out. It's been for so damn long. Coming out in fall 2025. Looking forward to that coming out on PlayStation 5. I think it's exclusive for now. It could be coming out on PC, but seems like an exclusive for now, given the fact that Tetris Fusion or Tetris the Luminous Tetris game that came out a while back, that was pretty cool, and that was also exclusive, I remember. Correct me if I'm wrong. Neo 3, also another exclusive of PS5. That's the next action game from Koei Tecmo. That is coming out in early 2025, I believe. That's PlayStation 5. Now you got you still kill demons, of course. And it's going to be a Souls-like RPG game. Probably have a loot system similar to Part 1 and Part 2. Now, I believe you get to change between different styles. You can be a samurai or a ninja. So samurai, you can take the hits, more defensive. And ninjas, you just hit and run and do more attacks and maybe have range attacks and whatnot with the kunais and shit. That's coming out in Neo 3. It looks really good. Like to see the demo and the playtesting for that eventually. Silent Hill F has a release date, 25th September. We've talked about that horror game for quite a bit, so September 25. Look forward to that. Ninja Gaiden Ragebound, the other Koei Tecmo game I'm looking forward to. 31st July, that's the release date. It's a 2D action game in the veins of the first 3 Ninja Gaiden titles on the Nintendo. Way back in the 90s, early 80s. 2D game, probably going to be a straightforward platformer action title. You get to switch between 2 characters, Shared Souls, the Black Spider Clan Ninja, and the Hayabusa Clan Ninja guy. 2 new protagonists, and they're all fighting in 2D form. Got the sword slices and counter and parryings and shit. Really, really good stuff. 007 First Light. That's a IO Interactive upcoming action game. So you got the subterfuge part a la Hitman. You got the chase sequences, and you've got the gunning down enemies down when you're giving chase or when your cover's blown. So what was really disappointing about this is that on the IO Interactive showcase that I just saw literally a couple of minutes ago, which sucked by the way, they could have shown off a lot more gameplay from 007 First Light, but they didn't. All they did say was, oh, look forward to more. They showed the trailer that was on PlayStation State of Play, and then they just announced, oh, we're going to show more gameplay on summer 2025. So it's going to be on Gamescom, in other words. So that's, yeah. Why have the IOI showcase in the first place? I don't know. But anyway, that's all uplifted by the other 2 news that's gonna cap off this podcast video show. Final Fantasy Tactics Ivalice Chronicles is getting a remaster. That's actually the remaster of the PS1 strategy RPG classic of Final Fantasy Tactics and the PSP remaster, so it's the second time it's getting a remaster. So from FF Tactics to FF Tactics World Alliance, and now to FF Tactics Ivalice Chronicles. So remastered graphics, revamped graphics, nice change of quality of life stuff. You got like new interface changes. I especially dig that you get like a turn sequence this time. So in the enhanced version, your turn order numbers will be on the left side of the screen. On the left side of the screen in the enhanced version. So you know whose turn is next rather than you guessworking basically. And the entire storyline will be voiced. All I know is Ben Starr, the voice of Clive Rossfield in Final Fantasy 16 and Tekken 8, he is going to be voicing Daisadark in Final Fantasy Tactics. That's the brother of Ramza. And there's also a bunch of other actors from Xenoblade Chronicles 3 and other RPGs from a couple of years back. All the British sounding actors all voicing Zalba, Delita, and our main hero Ramza. So really I'm looking forward to this. I mean, this was actually kind of teased, also kind of leaked by Jason Schreier and Yasumi Matsuno, who retweeted a tweet from Jason Schreier talking about FF Tactics being announced. And then he deleted that tweet. So we know that it's going to come out. So really cool stuff that FF Tactics is getting a remaster. It's coming out for PC, PlayStation 5, Xbox Series, Nintendo Switch for on the 30th of September. And the last piece of news, the best announcement was Arc System Works and PlayStation and Marvel are teaming up to create the upcoming 4v4 fighting game, Marvel Tokon Fighting Souls. So Tokon in Japan means fighting spirit. So to say it, the full title is Marvel Fighting Spirits Fighting Souls. So MTFS, yeah. So it's a 4v4 game. When that trailer dropped, I didn't know what the hell was going on. I was like, Arc System Works, that's a fighting game. And then when I saw Iron Man and Captain America duking it out, holy shit, I was excited. And then Miss Marvel, Kamala Khan, comes in. She is looking exactly like a My Hero Academia character, but Pakistani. Yeah, really cool stuff, like with the stretching. And this is a stretchy powers version of her. Like, she has the embiggen and all that. And you've got Doctor Doom, you've got Star-Lord, all in the new designs, really awesome designs. You've got Storm, you've got Spider-Man, and then you've got Ghost Rider, the Robbie Reyes version. So many characters being announced, like 8 characters coming in. Iron Man looking good with the whole Gundam Exia kind of look right there. And really cool stuff. I mean, this is 4v4, like, so they've explained the mechanics here and there in the presentation and on the PlayStation blog. So you got motion inputs, and you've got I guess you got the simple inputs, a la modern controls in Grand Blue Fantasy and Street Fighter 6. You also the developers did say that you only need to master one character, while the other 3 can be assists you can tag in, or you could just switch controls. You can switch partners, like as in Marvel vs. Capcom 2 and 3. So that looks pretty interesting. I'm actually excited for this one. Really cool stuff. I mean, holy crap, the way the action goes on and just finding out all the Easter eggs at the stages. Like, there are only like 3 segments of the one stage of New York City. You got the bit of teaser like Hell's Kitchen and the graffiti Luke Cage at the background as well. You got the Fogler's Gym, that basically where Matt Murdock's dad trained before he got killed in a fixed fight and whatnot. You also got like a Daily Bugle popping out, J. Jonas Jameson's mug popping up, and then you've got like a reference to Wonder Man acting in a Broadway play and whatnot. Oh, and then at the back of the cinema, in one of the stages, you've got Dazzler performing, so she might be a character. So with 8 characters revealed at the actual trailer, I can expect, and this being a 4v4 game, if I'm going through like Arc System tag fighting game math, if they had 30 base characters in, what was it, 20 to 30, if they had like 24 base characters in a 3v3 game like Dragon Ball Fighter Z. So odds are they need to actually have 30 characters being in the base roster for Marvel Tokon Fighting Souls. You heard it here first, gentlemen. 30 characters base on Arc System's 4v4 game. 30 at the very least, with the DLC coming in fours and whatnot. Maybe in teams, who knows? So yeah, all I can say is one, I think Riot Games might be shitting their pants right now. Like, they've been working on 2XKO for so long, and all they have is like 7 characters at launch. By the way, at launch, and this is not a small company. Riot Games is a huge company, yo. Like, what the hell, man? And then Arc System Works, yeah, they probably will have to reveal more, like Tokyo Game Show, maybe Gamescom. Probably not Gamescom. Who knows? Kind of tight. Maybe they'll have a playable version at Gamescom and Tokyo Game Show, definitely, because Japan's in their element. They're the Japanese company, of course, Yokohama based. So you've got like a lot of fighting going on. New characters going to be introduced at Tokyo Game Show, 100%. Evo's coming out. Evo's in like end of July, August. They're going to show another trailer of the new heroes coming out. And yeah, a playable build with more characters being thrown in, being announced for Tokyo Game Show. So, holy crap, that was like the biggest surprise of the PlayStation State of Play. Like, just when you thought your expectations are mid or low, along comes all these announcements. A throwback, Luminous Arise, Neo 3, FF Tactics, Final Fantasy Tactics, my favorite Final Fantasy game in a while, next to FF6. And Marvel Tokon Fighting Souls. Holy shit, that's insane. I actually did message one of my friends, one of the KKP partners, Diana from Australia, about this. Miss Steel's Geek. Holy crap, she was excited too. Yeah, all the eye popping shit, all that. I did ask also another one of our mutual friends that is this the guy who is this a character design done by the guy who did My Hero Academia? She told me no, but again, who knows? I mean, it is kind of similar with when I look at Miss Marvel Kamala Khan in this one, I'm thinking Uraraka but Pakistani, So I don't know. Maybe I just all this manga I've been blending in back and forth. But in any case, the art style is really awesome, really hyper-kinetic. And I love all the redesigns of the Marvel characters. I mean, Doctor Doom with the fur coat and the green cape, Iron Man in the Gundam outfit, holy crap. And of course, Miss Marvel, like, she's the same, but, shonen style. But now in shonen style with the big arms and the big eyes, really cool. I really enjoyed all of them. Robbie Reyes, goddamn, like the Mexican Ghost Rider, holy shit, with the car as the super. He had the Hell Charger coming in as like a damaging super, as part of his super. Really, really cool stuff. I am looking forward to this one, that's for sure. As for wishlist, I did actually put up a tweet talking about like who I want to be in the game. Like, I guess, hey, let's put a joke character. Morbius. It's Morbid time, right? Have him as Spider-Man's rival or some shit. Anime version of Morbius. And then you've got Elsa Bloodstone. Yeah, she's really cool. She's the monster hunter, literal monster hunter of the guns in the Marvel universe. Maybe Monica Rambeau or Machine Man from Aaron Stack. Machine Man, right? Or was it Machine Head? From he was in Next Wave and a couple of other comics. He played a bad guy at one point, but I remember him more from Warren Ellis's Next Wave. So yeah, bring Machine Man in. He can become like the all-purpose kind of character, different styles of machine transformations and shit, with the trench coat and the purple outfit. Let's see who else I mentioned. Oh yeah, Magic has to be in. Magic, totally. Arc System Works did mention that they're gonna try to add in characters who are not in other fighting games, in the Marvel characters who are never in fighting games. So I mean, you gotta play it safe, lah. I mean, you're gonna have your Wolverine in for the branding synergy and shit with the X-Men, right? If you have Storm already, you're gonna need to put in Cyclops, Jean Grey, or Wolverine as well. But in terms of like other, I mean, of course, Magneto as well. But as well for other X-Men characters, yeah, Bastion will be one character too. He can become like a guy who summons Sentinels and Nimrod as a super. Like, he's the Sentinel Man, basically. Like, so he can have half of Sentinel's playstyle in Marvel vs. Capcom, or the X-Men games, and half his own style. probably an install, because I remember in the X-Men 97 cartoon, he did transform into like a super sharp Sentinel Prime version character in the final few episodes. Who else did I mention should pop up? Oh yeah, Magic. She has an install. Yeah, she can become a Dark Child. And she can teleport around, so she's got like the Rushdown shit going on. Who knows? Mix-up kind of character lah, you know. And Nightcrawler. Oh yeah, Nightcrawler has to be in. After seeing that X-Men 97, a clip of him kicking ass in the show with the three swords, two on his hand and one on his tail. Yeah, he's gotta be a fighter. He's gotta be a fighter in this game somehow. Other picks, I mean, Annihilus as Annihilus, Fantastic Four villain. We got Thanos already for a couple of times. Yeah, Annihilus, definitely. Galacta. Galactus' daughter. Oh yeah, Squirrel Girl will be another nice pick. I have no idea what kind of archetype she'll be. Shoto, I guess. And so instead of like a Hadouken, she just throws nuts and squirrels in your face. Maybe a Lobber Zoner kind of character. I know Elsa Bloodstone will be a Zoner because of all of her guns. Elephant gun, her sniper rifle, dynamite, and some other shit. I actually had an idea for a super for her. She throws like this cursed stone at her opponent, and it summons all the B-movie monsters she fought, like the Merman, or demons or some shit, or even Dracula coming in for a beatdown, or the Mummy, all attacking the opponent holding that summoning stone. The cursed object stone idol thing. It could be a funny super, you know. I mean, Arc System works. I guess you need like a wacko character too. Gwenpool would be a nice wacko character. She brings in fourth wall references and teleports shit in. Who knows? Yeah, in any case, Mr. Sinister would be an interesting character too. X-Men, so many non-fighting game characters who could actually be a fighter in Marvel Tokon Fighting Souls. Just, it's endless. I mean, if you go on the Reddit page, people will be like, oh, I gotta put all these characters in, and it's gonna be like a bloodbath on Reddit. So you got any suggestions, just let us know. I even opened up like a chat group, you know, on YouTube communities. I put up a post, who should be in Marvel Tokon Fighting Souls, and everyone's just jumping into the suggestions. I even heard about a character I never heard before, a Reptile. A Marvel character. I guess he can use the power of dinosaurs. That would be pretty interesting, you know, like Raptor's Claw or T-Rex Tail. A super, he transforms into different dinosaurs and whatnot. Kang the Conqueror. I think he could have like some portal time traveling shenanigans as a bunch of supers and moves and whatnot. You know, like he's like a mid-range character. He's got a few pistols and tech shit going on. Yeah. The world is Marvel's oyster. People can just keep speculating on who they can put in, but it's an interesting chat, you know, here and there, just to go on from there. So yeah, as you can tell, I'm really, really excited for Marvel Tokon Fighting Souls coming out for PlayStation 5 and PC in 2026. So it's quite a long wait, but yeah, I guess we know that that's going to be an upcoming fighting game that everyone is looking forward to. And also one of the best kept secrets in quite a while. I mean, yeah, I know some of my developer friends knew about it ahead of time, but they didn't want to say anything because they do not want to be blacklisted ever again, right? So, yeah, so good stuff. So all in all, I would give State of Play like a high ranking over Summer Games Fest. They're both good, don't get me wrong. They're both great presentations. Maybe in terms of like what I like as for games and whatnot, I guess they should edge out because they had the Day of the Devs, which is actually a lot more introduced. Like, there was a game called Blighted. I was gonna say Betrothed. Blighted. That's also another game that was mentioned during the Day of the Devs. Really, that's basically a roguelike with interesting new Metro search action title with new gory hardcore elements. You know, blood and eating the dead and having ghosts being summoned. Really, really cool stuff, but overall, yeah, I guess PlayStation State of Play kind of edged out a little bit in terms of like me ranking it. So that gets it A. Games of Summer Games Fest, probably B+, A-. I like both of them in a sense, but State of Play this month has been really, really great. So the bar has been raised. So yeah, and yeah, coming out soon. We'll probably have another recap with. There's going to be the Southeast Asia Games Showcase You've got like PC Game Show, that's on Monday morning. And of course, the Xbox Showcase, that's on Monday mornings. So yeah, look forward to that. Thanks again for joining me on this little quick episode. If you want to check out more content from us, we're on YouTube, Kakuchopurei, like and subscribe to us, hit that bell button for notifications and whatnot, and check out our website. Got a lot of coverage coming your way, so yeah, I'll see you probably on a Monday or a Sunday, either a Sunday morning or a Monday morning. And until then, peace out, guys. Bye-bye.